get no applause. I'm in my feelings. Don't give me no delay time. Y'all shady. Anyway, welcome to the spot, the Stacked After Hours spot. I am your host, Natalie Cosby. Welcome to the show for grown folks talk. In tonight's show, we are talking about who got the bill. He, she, or we. It sounds like an M2 song, right? He, she, Anyway, y'all get ready, get your cocktails, keep those fingertips loose because we want to hear your questions and comments tonight. Because as we always say, it's going to be lit and enlightening. Take us away, Mr. M. Look at our beautiful brand new panel. We have a lot of newbies tonight, so I'm super, super excited to have them on the show. First, we're going to start. He's new to the show. He's a VP of Public Affairs, and he can use both hands. He got talents. Let's welcome Mr. Byron Johnson. Hey. Hello, Byron.
Am I really new to the show, though?
Yeah, well, you're new to the YouTube show.
Okay.
Nice
to be here.
This is his first time on YouTube, right? He's global. We're going global. Next, she is a Cali girl living in Houston, Texas for over 20 years. New to the show, Miss Angelina. We're going to call her Angie Holland. Say hi, Angie. Cool. Also, not new to Stacked After Hours, but new to the show because Byron corrected me. Thank you very much. She is still learning and growing. She is 50 and fabulous. She just had a birthday. All our air is energy. And she was a dancer for Queen Latifah's video, Dance With Me, Miss Leah Bird. Hi, Leah. And then finally, he's back. Our songwriter, our snowboarder, Mr. Malik Kayem. Hey, Malik. And of course, my beautiful Ace Boom Coon co-host, Anthea Sunshine Jeffrey. Hey, Sunshine. So, Sunshine, what are we talking about tonight?
Who's paying the bill?
Who's paying the bill?
She or we?
Yes. So Sunshine's going to give us a scenario about who is paying the bill. Go ahead, Sunshine.
All right. So the scenario is, girls on the panel, you are a part of a quartet that's at dinner. And the men on the panel, you are the boyfriend of one of the girls in the quartet at dinner. And the girls are sitting, having their dinner. The guy's at the bar with his boys, chilling. And the boyfriend comes over. Hey, everything is okay? And the bill comes at that time. Who pays? Him, the girls, or what's the expectation there?
Oh, she paying. She gonna enjoy it.
Who said that? Who said that?
Who said that? I have no idea.
Byron?
Who did say that? I have no idea. What was that?
You said she's gonna pay and she's gonna enjoy it.
I was messing with her. Yeah,
no, I mean, go ahead.
I mean, look. I mean, this is. I mean, it's. I don't know. And this is just me speaking only. I mean, as someone I'm dating as my partner, I typically do pay because it's just something that I want to do, and I always take care of my people. I mean, unless it's something that she starts to take for granted or expect, at which point I'm like, I mean, this ain't a guaranteed thing. I mean, I do it as long as it's appreciated.
So you're paying all the girls' bills, Byron?
No, I'm paying my partner's bills.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I'm paying her dinner.
You just paying her dinner?
Yeah, we built. I know we're talking about bills. We're on dinner right now.
The bill for that dinner.
I mean, I'm gonna take the whole bill. I'm gonna take the whole bill just because it's my ladies, her friends, and I feel like my actions are a reflection on my lady.
So you taking my ticket too? I appreciate it.
I wouldn't want to take the bill, but I would do it.
Okay.
Ladies, what is your expectation?
Well, I'm used to these two gentlemen. My man is going to pay for the bill.
For everybody or for just you?
For definitely just for me or for everybody. It depends on which man I'm with. But usually I'm with a man who definitely will take care of me most times. But there have been scenarios, when I have, because you didn't really say what was happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just at dinner.
Yeah, I needed the clarification.
You know what I mean? Like, what was happening before we got to dinner? What's the situation with us? All that. So, not knowing all of the details or whatever, I'm just in those scenarios used to a man who's going to take care of the whole bill for me and my girlfriends.
Okay. And if he's not your boyfriend, but you're just a friend of the girl with the boyfriend, you also expect the bill to be paid?
I don't expect, if I'm a friend of the girlfriend, for my bill to be paid. No.
Gotcha.
Are you going to feel some kind of way though, Leah, if you are with him? I mean, if you're with your girl.
If my man is not taking care of at least my bill, and again, I don't really know the scenario here. Okay, like what but then that's not really my man.
Okay.
I'll say this: if we're together,
hold on, I want Angie. Angie, what about you?
Yeah, I was trying to ask for clarification when the question was asked, but right now, what Leah's saying, I don't know all the dynamics, but I would expect if that's my man or somebody I'm dating, that he at least covers my bill. But I mean, if he was to cover everybody's bill, that would have been great too. But the expectation would be at least that he pays for my portion of the bill.
Okay. All right.
Can I ask, why is that the expectation?
Well, because I don't know like I said, I didn't have the question wasn't clarified what the dynamics were. Now, me and him have been dating for a while, and these are like my close inner circle of girlfriends. Then maybe I would want him to pay the whole bill. But I don't know. It wasn't like it discussed exactly what the dynamics were of those ladies or the people all at the table and how long have we been dating. And there's a lot of variables that you would have to consider. But
no, but I mean, you and Leah both said the expectations that he covers at least your bill. And I'm saying, even though I would do it, I'm just wondering the psychology of you guys believing that's an expectation.
I was raised.
So let's put it into context, okay?
I'm being right.
Let me say this: they're all girls. These are your closest girls. You've been dating this dude for a minute.
Okay. Oh, no, right. I don't know. I'm not with y'all. Y'all all by yourself. It was just all girls.
But you are meeting you came with her, Byron, but you're at the place with your boy came to meet, because maybe your boy may be interested in one of the girls.
I think it could depend. Like let's say we've been dating for a long time and we're couples out, right? And the girls decided to get dinner and the guys are at the bar. And yeah, maybe I might take care of my dinner. You know what I mean? I just think it just depends. But most times, like 99% of the time, the bill is taken care of. My man's taking care of the bill.
So have you been 98%
of the time? 98.
So have you been out? So I think this brings it back to the expectations of who's paying what in general, right?
So can I just say something? Like, I'm thinking of it from this scenario of I'm not with the guy, I'm the friend of the girl who has the boyfriend. And for me as the friend, I have no expectations at all. But I know in some cases, some women will be like, he knew us from a long time. He's dating our friends for a while. There is an expectation in some cases that he will cover the entire bill.
So I want to go back to Malik. Malik, you said you would
Correct.
Pay the bill. Why is that?
Really? And I'm gonna tell you honestly, I'm only covering it to kind of continue my brand. So it's on one level, I love my lady and I want to, like be a good man. But bigger than that for me is probably my ego and my brand. So
Your brand.
kind of
It's about
my
you.
brand. Like I'm a guy that you come out with me, you're gonna have a great time. I got it. Don't worry about it. So really in the back of my mind, I'm doing this a little bit for my girl, but I'm doing it more so her homegirls is like, yo, you see, so-and-so's man, he got everything, yo, he's mad cool. You get what I mean? And it's sad that ego is playing a role in me doing it. It's not really being done from the standpoint of this
From the heart.
From this. Well, I mean, there's some heart in it, you know what I mean? But it's like my little cousin went out for her birthday, and it was like 10 of her friends, and I was like, oh, and I went to the bar and I just took the bill. And then when they was later, it's like, where's the bill? I think, oh, don't worry about it, I got it. Now that's just so 10 little girls will run around and say, like, oh my God, he paid the bill for us. You know what I mean? So it's like,
but those 10 girls have some mamas, though.
Huh? I mean, it was like college kids. So she was like turning 21. So like our whole family was there. But she had a little section with her girlfriends. And then, I was just like, yo, I'm gonna get this. It's her birthday. She's 21. You know what I mean? But really, it's probably me. So I think it's more just the kind of guy you're dealing with. If he, because some guys like to do stuff like that because it just makes them look cooler to the world.
Okay. So you like the whole baller look. Is that what you're trying to say?
Not necessarily the baller look, but I like I'm a good man look. So I know my lady is gonna be happy. Like, oh, thank you, baby. You did. You know what I'm saying? And then I know her girls is gonna be like, oh, you got a good man. Oh, you don't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I know that whole dynamic is gonna happen. I'll probably be looking at my credit card statement mad next week, but you know what I mean? In the moment, you got to do these things just to keep, you know what I'm saying? You got to do it.
So it's more about how you look, whereas doing a friendly gesture, but you want to look a certain way, like, yeah, I got this, and you want everybody to be like, ooh. So it's more about how you want to look, and not so much how your girlfriend feels about, even though she's gonna be happy.
Yeah, really to be honest, because if I was dating a girl who was frugal and was like, listen, babe, we're trying to buy a house, blah, blah, blah. If she was like one of those type of women and she kind of checked me not to do it, she's like, listen, just give me $60 for mine and them chicks could take care of themselves. I would do what my girl wanted me to do.
Okay.
That
makes sense.
I mean, he does have 7 chains on. Ted is hilarious. Oh my gosh. Anyway, Ted never gives you a trip. So in that, Byron or everybody. So is dating then transactional?
Yeah.
If a person pays for dinner, what should be expected?
No, I mean, I'm talking beyond dinner. I mean, dating has its transactional elements to it, right? I mean, as is life, everything in life has a transactional element to it. So dating is not unlike any other life exchange or interaction with other people. Sometimes you're doing something for one person because you want something else. Sometimes.
What have you wanted in the past when it's been transactional for you, Byron?
In life or just in dating?
In dating.
In dating? I've gone out with people knowing full well I didn't want to go out with people, but my urge for physical interaction was stronger. So I went out with you because I want to, because I was hoping that it would lead to something else later in the evening. Knowing full, I wasn't really interested in going out, but that urge in that moment was stronger.
So Natalie, can I ask one of the questions that we prepared?
Yeah.
What is financial equality in a relationship? So when you think about what you just said, it's not transactional, but what does financial equality in a relationship mean?
Is that towards me?
Yeah.
Whoever.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Byron.
I mean, look, I was taught that money later on in life. I mean, this is something that my mother learned, and so it was passed on because earlier in life it was a very different message. But I mean, finances are money is a sort of energy. I mean, and the energy that you bring into finances is also can very much be a lot like the energy you bring to life in general, right? So if you are comfortable with the money you bring, the money that you make, and the money that you bring to any situation, the idea of financial equality is finding that person whose energy you match. Doesn't necessarily have to be a dollar for dollar thing. But if someone's making, let's say, $150,000 a year, if someone makes $230,000 or $240,000 a year, if that person is comfortable with how they make their money, how they spend the money, how they budget the money, they have more money in the bank. They may have more take home or less take home, but they have more money saved up. Then that energy can match each other.
Mm.
I mean, I'm gonna kind of respectfully disagree with that because
Sure.
I feel like financial equality doesn't exist because society has all these social norms and constructs that we subscribe to. So there's the whole argument that men go through, which is chivalry versus equality. So you're constantly in a battle with yourself to be chivalrous on one hand, because that's what society kind of makes us digest. But then there's also this new thing of equality. So how do you find it? And then the other thing is that even when you get a job, you have to wait 2 weeks before you get your first paycheck. Dating is the only arena where the immediate expectation is for one party to spend money on the other party. And most people live on a budget. So if I get into a new dating situation, I immediately have to reallocate my finances to start thinking about how I'm going to spend my disposable income because this woman wasn't in my life 2 weeks ago. So I had my money budgeted for mortgage, car note, maybe going to play soccer, whatever I do. Now I have to inject, okay, I have a date on Saturday I got to do. She wants to go, do this on Wednesday. So I feel like there's really no financial equality because I don't think women enter the dating arena with the expectation put on them of having to immediately come to the table with a certain amount of finances to kind of be vetted in the dating process.
Ladies, thoughts on that?
Well, I'm appreciative of what Malik said. I think that he makes me realize that chivalry isn't dead because just from being in the out there dating lately, I can tell that, or I thought that chivalry was dead. But to hear him say that, I think he has some valid points. I mean, I think that a real man, maybe I'm going to get dinged on that. I think that's how they should think. They should want to wine and dine the woman they're interested in and get to know her. And I think that's just a part of, I'm old school. So I believe the man should take the lead and he should initially make the effort and pay. So when we think about being equally or financially equal, that's not always the case. But I think if both people are coming in there and they both have something to bring to the table and they can take care of themselves and have a relationship and then later on discuss that, I think that there's nothing wrong with what he just said.
Okay. All right. Have you dated someone who's made less than you?
Yes, I have.
And how did that play out for you?
Blue collar worker. And there's nothing wrong with blue collar workers. And I have dated somebody who made less money than I have, but I always went by if they're able to pay their own bills, if they're able to take me out, and how they treated me. That's what I basically really paid attention to, is how they treated me and how they were able to still take care of themselves and take care of me. Take care of themselves. When I say take care of, I mean like date me, take me out, buy me gifts or whatever. I just feel like what Malik said, I don't think everybody is always going to be financially equal. But I don't think you should not date someone just because they make less money than you. But if they're able to, pay their bills and take care of themselves, I still think that you should take care of themselves. If it's a good person that they treat you well, why not date them?
So Keith Walker from our panel, he asked, if men are paying, then what are women bringing to the table? Well, damn.
Oh, damn.
Damn, Keith.
And can I just say, if you're not speaking, if you could just mute your mic because there's some feedback and background.
Yeah.
I mean, I think women are bringing peace. I think they're bringing stability. I think they're bringing companionship to the table. They're bringing, it's certain things that you do with a woman that you're not going to do with your homeboys or your parents. Like I took my mom to the movies. I'm not going to hold my mom's hand and share a bucket of popcorn with her and have laughs, maybe have her rub my back. there's kind of no price tag you can put on a certain joy and comfort and peace that your significant other brings to you. So I don't necessarily think it's even a monetary thing, because when I didn't have money, I would get on a $3 ferry to Governor's Island and just walk around Governor's Island. I would, maybe go to Prospect Park and have like a little picnic. You know what I mean? There's ways that you can show a level of financial stability, because I think money is just symbolic of you being a provider. I think that's really what it symbolizes in the dating arena. So if you can show that, I mean, yes, you do need a certain amount of money to just, make things happen, but I don't think you have to like rain down dollars on a woman necessarily.
Exactly. I agree.
agree.
And then I
Yeah.
agree. I mean, what do we want? Do we want money? We can have an asshole with money. You know what I'm saying? I want somebody who's going to treat me well. It's not always about money all the time. I mean, I can take care of myself. Now, if he brings something to the table and he's adding to that and he's treating me well and taking me out, I don't see what the problem is. I guess I'm old school. I'm not about like being a bopper and it's all about how much money you spend on me. It's about how you treat me. At this point in time in my life, I want a companion. I don't want somebody just as a what do you call it, an arm piece. It's more
Right.
to
And
life than
also
that.
at our age also. I mean, the thing
Exactly.
is, how are people making their money? Do they have a hustle? That's always been my thing. And
does that so do you guys judge people based on how they make their money at this age? Like if I'm asking because some people do. Like a girl comes to you and she's like, I make $75,000 a year. I'm a civil worker.
I'm sorry. I just want to say, T Parks, I'm sorry that you haven't met a woman that has brought you.
Exactly.
That's really like, wow.
It's your choice of women.
What's a civil worker? You mean like for the city?
Like somebody who works for the city. I have a good pension. No, I'm a postal worker. I have a good pension. I make such and such, but I'm really enlightened. I'm cool. But yeah, I decided to be a whatever. I work for the post office.
Okay.
So does that, we say, okay, but we all live in very expensive cities. I mean, Houston's not as expensive as New York City and so on and so forth. But let's be real. I mean, does that matter? Do you not judge when somebody is like, are you going to date the garbage man who makes $100,000, but he picks up the trash?
Okay. I mean, I don't see what's wrong with this.
So I think the profession may not matter here. If they're a social worker versus a VP of a corporate, environment, there's no bar really of what job that is, considered good, bad, indifferent. But I think we have to be realistic when we keep saying, if he makes less money than I am, it doesn't matter. At some point, and I'm speaking from experience, I'm not even speaking from a theory. At some point, it will matter, especially when the hard decisions, the hard financial decisions, rear its face, So
I think it matters how people are able to handle business.
I have had, let me say,
whatever their job is.
So I've had friends say, "Oh, honey, I don't go to that club because that's where the working class go. I'm not going to find anybody in there."
I think it could also just be attitude. I think there might be a certain attitude, and I just think certain, could be certain attitudes that don't, rock well with, possessions. But I think if you just meet somebody that you connect and that energy is there and that's what you do, then there you go.
Okay. Gentlemen, the men have been quiet on this. Byron, does it matter to you? As he wipes his brow.
I think he's on mute.
Byron, you're on mute, honey.
Well, I think it doesn't matter to men, but I think it does matter to women. I think women kind of tie a level of
it matters
status
to me
to what your profession is. You know, like
Hold on, he said it doesn't matter to you. Okay.
My man's a doctor, my man's a lawyer, but to a woman?
No, I said it does matter to me.
It does matter to you?
No, it doesn't matter. It does matter to me.
It matters to you what your lady does?
Are we asking me?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah, it does. Because
why?
I'm very attracted. Ambition is attractive to me. I'm very attracted to ambition. I'm very attracted to drive, and and
ambition and drive don't have anything to do with the profession.
Right.
So Byron, can I ask you a question, man to man?
Ambition and drive have nothing
let's not
to do
try
with
to talk over each other. I want Byron to finish his thought. Go ahead, Byron.
I disagree.
Go ahead.
I disagree. I think a person who steadily wants to improve themselves and wants to, not necessarily has to prove anything of themselves, but wants to improve themselves, will be a person who tends to, climb not necessarily a corporate ladder, but will be in a profession that may be a step or two higher than others, and may be an entrepreneur. Maybe they're their own business owner, but the level of customers that this business serves may be at a different level. I equate ambition with drive, and drive is something that's very attractive to me.
Okay.
So
Brian,
can I ask Byron a question? I have a question.
One at a time. Go ahead, Leah, and then Malik.
So Byron, you said that we're talking about the profession, ambition and drive. Ambition and drive. You could be a stripper and have ambition and drive.
You're absolutely right. But most people who have ambition and drive are lawyers, or at least I know are lawyers, are lobbyists.
You think a stripper does not have ambition and drive?
Well, to make rent that night, sure. I'm talking about long term. I'm talking about someone with a long-term plan. I'm talking about a long-term plan.
Okay, so maybe a technology, I won't put it in that profession. A technology startup person, someone who is starting up in tech.
Absolutely. I did say an entrepreneur falls in that category.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I think of that worker as an entrepreneur too. I think she has to get her hustle on to do her work.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
Go ahead, Malik.
So Byron, my question is that you say look at a Cardi B. She turned stripping into a multi-million-dollar career.
I can barely stand her for 30 seconds. So no.
No, but what I'm just saying, despite the person, I'm just using your example of hustle and drive. And then
God bless her hustle, but that's not exactly the type of ambition that I'm.
Okay, and then if you talk about hustle and drive, why is it that the Condoleezza Rices of the world don't seem to be getting flown around and living this lavish lifestyle that you see these Instagram models getting?
Have you seen Condoleezza Rice? I mean,
but what I'm saying is, looks aside. I'm just saying women that's body.
Okay, so I need. Hold on. I just need one of y'all to talk at a time.
Okay, I just want to finish the thought. The thought is, looks aside. You were talking about hustle and drive ambition is attractive to you.
Yeah.
So a woman like Condoleezza Rice clearly has displayed a high level of ambition and drive and determination. Yet, I don't think her dating card is as heavy as Buffy, the Instagram model, who's being flown to Dubai and Hawaii every other week because she's pretty.
Okay, well, let me answer that. Hey, Condoleezza Rice has been married for 40 years or so. I mean, so she's good. I think she's good. Second, Condoleezza, the circles that she rolls in. Do you know that she was once considered to be the commissioner for the NFL? Like seriously, at one point in time, she is a woman who has never been in the sports arena, but was so powerful that she was thought to be a candidate for the commissioner of the NFL. That sort of ambition and power and respect, that is the sort of stuff that I don't give a shit about these chicks who are Instagram. Like what was the meme that came out this week? I can't go with a man if he can't take me to Greece and Dubai, and Greece and Dubai spell wrong. I don't give a shit about that.
And I wanted to correct you, Condoleezza Rice. Hey, Byron, I wanted to correct you. Condoleezza Rice has never been married, and she has no children.
So what does that mean?
So what does that? Yes, what does that mean?
So what I'm trying to say is that
is hilarious.
I'm trying to say that sometimes people talk about. people talk about ambition and all this other shit is attractive. And unfortunately for women, we live in a world where beauty is celebrated more than what a great job a woman has. Google it. Condoleezza
So
Rice has no kids, never been married, nobody's checking for her, and she's a
How
phenomenal
do you
woman.
know that?
I mean,
it
you out
depends
anywhere in
on
the
who
world.
you're talking about.
it's so funny that we have two men that have completely two different perspectives. Because
I'm just saying, I
clearly
like
Byron finds power and ambition attractive, along with, I'm sure, looks. Right, Byron? Am I?
But Cardi B is stop equating people's professions with power and ambition. That's what we're saying. Stop
Well,
equating
that's what he is equating to. I'm not going to say stop.
but that's
So
not
let's be
correct.
clear. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. That's how Byron sees.
And
That's what he is supposedly.
Accomplishments.
That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
So okay, little judgy.
I'm just saying that society does not sometimes value a woman's career because you have a woman that's celebrated as Miss Rice, and she seems to be single for whatever reasons.
Exactly, I agree.
Whereas a man of equal status,
True.
like you know how much, like put like this. I've dated girls that worked at
What
Radio
about
Shack
you,
back in
girl?
the day, McDonald's. I don't care where you work at. If you're pretty and you treat me right, whereas a girl is typically not walking into McDonald's and dating a drive-through guy.
Where did
Or
Byron
dating a
go?
guy that's walking around in Brooklyn with the ready, willing, and able blue suit on.
But let's be real. Are y'all really giving play to the people in the drive-through?
Yeah,
That's
didn't
what
what's the basketball player? Rasheed Wallace? What didn't he meet his his wife at Foot Locker? Who what is his name? He played for DC. He met his wife at Foot Locker. They're still together, married.
No, Leah, I'm saying we do that, but you as a woman, are you women dating guys that work any and everywhere? Like if you get on a train and that guy's sweeping up and he's like, "Hey, sweetheart, you look good today. You got a man?" You gonna look at him like this nigga sweeping a train.
So the man sweeping the train, like, okay, so I went on a date with this guy and he was telling me that his man has his business. He puts out cones, to do the parking. He like sets up before the productions, and his gig for the crew or whatever is to come and set up all the cones, right? And before the Teamsters get there, whatever, he like comes and sets up all the, does all the breaks it down, sits there, whatever. And he was like, well, would you tell people that that's your man? And I'm like, well, hell yeah. Like, that's his job. Like, yeah, he's putting out cones, but he's working for crews. He's got on movie sets. He's got an important job. Like what he's doing to me is important. And as well as we don't know what other hustle we can start or get or whatever, because clearly he knows how to hustle.
So
is my point.
So let me say this. We're at a certain age, right? We are at a certain age. I know, and we're talking about financial equity and all of those things. And I think the thing is like once you start to get into your relationship or you meet someone, when do you start having, or you decide y'all are going to move in together or whatever, when do you start having those conversations about money? Or are you even willing to have that conversation about money at this point?
I think you should have that conversation before you move in.
Wait, one at a time. Go ahead, Angie.
No, I just said I think you should be having that conversation before you all move into with each other, because somebody may have unrealistic expectations. We need to know what each person is going to bring to the table before you even decide to move in with each other.
And spending habits.
Exactly.
And during the time that you've been spending together, you both have been showing each other how you deal with money, how you handle situations, how you are giving to each other, and the stewardship, that all of that, right? While you're dating. So I hope that in how this person is showing themselves to you, you'll make the right decision.
So you don't have the conversation, Leah? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying you do have a conversation, but you're always having that conversation. Okay. And it's little things. Like, are they just making sure you're okay? Are they taking care of little things? Do they like, he might not be working today, you help out today, but then tomorrow he got, those kind of things, depending on what happens in life. Do you have a sky is falling type of person, or do you have a person who knows how to, just move on and let's handle this?
Are you dating the sky that's falling person now?
No,
at this point. Are we? That goes back to the same question. I mean, are we?
I want someone that
anybody
knows
should make
how to
that
handle
assumption.
business. That knows how to that's not going to fall apart. That's not going to feel defeated, or I'm here to, support, whether it's we start our own business together. Let me support you with some contacts, resources. I just,
got it.
We are here to support each other. So that comes in all kinds of ways and all types of situations as we go through life.
D Park said, Lee, are you going to go out and put cones too?
If he needed me to.
All right. All right. Yes. Angie, you were saying, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying we shouldn't make that assumption, because just from talking to a friend of mine who just got married last year, you would think because you're spending time with that person and you're kind of seeing what each other's, financial situation, kind of, but not really. You don't know what kind of debt. A lot of people don't like to discuss what kind of debt they have. So
Amen.
My friend who married this woman, he got all caught up in having a good time dating. And then he realized that once they got married, she was still spending more money than she was making. And so obviously they weren't having the conversation. And all of a sudden he found out about all this debt, or I don't know if he was so caught up in the fun and the happiness of everything that they really did not get into those conversations. And now they're having issues in their marriage because they really did not have those real conversations. I'm not talking about the day-to-day interaction. Everybody seems like they're pulling their weight. You really need to have that discussion before you decide to move in or decide to get married. Mm-hmm. You can't assume that.
I know a lot of couples who have gone through financial counseling and cleared debt before they've gotten married. And I know a few couples who've done that. Like, I know a guy who was like, my woman's debt was terrible. So, in order for us to really, really move forward, she had to commit to us. And now they're cleared up, they're together, so I do know people who have gone through that as well.
Let's hear from the men.
Yes. Gentlemen, are you having that conversation? Thank you, Angie. Byron, you're on mute.
How do I unmute? Okay, thank you.
You're not on mute anymore.
Thank you. I was saying, can I go back and revisit the point that I was closing on before I lost my internet signal? So
yes, go ahead.
To the point of Cardi B versus Condoleezza Rice. Well, it turns out she actually was in a relationship with a professional football player that ended. Right here, the dude's name was Richard.
Internet. Ooh. We'll come back to you, Byron.
And he'll be like, and on that point, before
it looks like Condoleezza Rice is dating.
Byron, you're in and out.
Can you
in and out?
Hear me?
We can. Go ahead. No. Malik.
I'm having those conversations to an extent. I might, have a level of transparency about what my finances are and the type of lifestyle I want to live. And, you can feel free to let me know how you feel like you can weave yourself into that or be a part of that. Because, there's certain things like, say I have a sneaker fetish. So I spend a significant amount of money every month on sneakers. Now that's not going to take away from my other responsibilities, but, you might be a lady that looks at that as me not being frugal. And then if we have lean times, I might have to, you might question me like, okay, well, when we have lean times, like during the pandemic, were you still buying 3 pairs of Jordans a month or these kind of sneakers or this, and so I think it's important to at least be transparent about who you are in terms of your finances. And hopefully the other person will be transparent as well. I mean, you can't force anyone to tell you anything. So
are you at this point, are you dating somebody? Are you going to move in with somebody who's not sharing that?
Yeah, because I make the assumption that if I meet you, and this is the thing, when you're dating, you know, you often meet people in what I quote unquote call the best scenarios. You're either in a club or you're someplace where they're dressed very nicely, they're ordering a dinner, they're drinking. So, you know, they look like they got it together. You know, you don't typically meet someone in an alleyway. So if I see you in certain social settings, and maybe it's my fault, I make the assumption that if we're in the same space, I feel like you're at least probably doing what I'm doing in life. You know what I mean? Because kind of birds of a feather flock together. You're not going to be at you know, let's say the Mercedes-Benz dealer if you can't afford a Mercedes. Or you're not going to be at certain restaurants if you don't have that price point for dinner and meals out on a Wednesday night. So I think people sometimes make assumptions, and maybe you need clarity and clarification on those assumptions you make.
Right.
I was the friend at the table. That's why I was at the restaurant.
So, you know, so I would, you know, because I feel like my expectation is never on my lady to bring a certain amount of financial wealth to the table. I mean, she can bring some, but that's not really my expectation as a man. My expectation is for other things. You know what I mean?
Since it's not to bring a certain amount of money to the table, what is it?
I think it's like what they were saying earlier, like peace, joy, a maternal energy and stability to my household, a peace to my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like you can't put a price tag on that. It's like Denzel's wife. We don't know I don't even know what this woman looks like, tell you the truth. But she has done something amazing to keep this man out the tabloids for 30 plus years of marriage, to keep his career on track as you know what I mean? Like behind a lot of these great men, you find that there are these powerful women, like the Coretta Scotts and the Betty Shabazes. So it's like, I feel like your wife is supposed to bring another kind of grounding and spiritual awareness and mental comfort and emotional stability to your life.
I agree with
Rashad said the woman I got to date got to have 5G internet. Rashad Cole.
I agree with what Malik is saying, because I feel like when I date a man or I'm with a man, I don't have a problem cooking. And I notice these new people don't do that. It's like he said, it's a whole sense of peace, comfort. When he comes home from a hard day's work, you're there, you're listening to what he's going through, you're being his support system. I mean, I remember my girlfriends used to laugh at me because there was a song by Destiny's Child called Cater to You.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no problem catering to my man if he's taking care of business and doing what he's supposed to do. I feel like if he's coming home to me every day and he's sharing, you know, his wealth or whatever with me, I have no problem being that woman that's going to help take care of him.
Mm. Byron,
and a lot of women, I feel like when I listen to some of these men and they're dating some of these women, they don't cook, they don't do nothing, they just want to be cute all day. They're not really bringing like the comfort and peace to them. They're ready to spend their man's money up. And there's nothing wrong with him spending that money on you, but I feel like that's what you get in return. When we talk about money, like what Malik is saying, that there's a certain amount of peace and support you can't get from, you know, when we talk about equality. I think that the man should lead and the man should provide. And then the woman's part is to be that support and be there and be his peace and his comfort.
So at this point in y'all's lives, if you do move into if you move in together or get married, right? Because we're either at 50, approaching 50, early 40s, wherever you guys are you commingling funds at this point? Are you getting a joint account?
I would say that makes more sense, yeah.
Say that again, Byron.
I said, I mean, at the point where you're moving in together, and you know, now you're introducing bills and things of that nature. That would make sense, yeah.
Okay. All right. Is anybody not commingling?
I've
had people where they're like, we ain't come. We'll have separate.
Yeah, I mean, there's the joint account, there's my account, and there's your account. So.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So
I was saying, Natalie, those things you got to be really careful of. And also things like filing taxes together. Is it, filing as married or separately? Like all of those things are so important to discuss and can have serious repercussions on your finances, and how you guys move together forward. And just for the record, Angie, I love to cook too, but I love when my man cooks as well when I get home from
Well,
from
I
a
think it could
hard
be
day's
shared.
work.
I think it could be shared. It's not always about money. I know money is important, don't get me wrong, but I think there's more to it than just money.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree. I agree. So talking, I think going back to Angie's point, because I think it is, I think part of it is like intentions, giving freely. Are you giving your money freely, or is it always a certain intention expect, or not even expectation, but are your intentions sincere when you are either at the beginning, or I think even in the relationship, because you found a rhythm that works, but in the same token you just like, okay, I know if I do something, if I pay for something, I'm gonna get some ass tonight. If I do this, she's gonna give me head tonight. If I or da, 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 da. Or if I cook for him and blah 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 blah, he ain't gonna ask me for head tonight. Yeah, I just, my question is, it's just like, are there
Natalie.
I think
I
it just
definitely think
depends on the person, right? Like in the situation. So, okay, he wants it tonight, then you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really, it's all supporting your man. And if that's in support of my man, then that's in support of my man. That's my answer to that.
okay?
I think there's certain unspoken or unwritten, I will say, expectations. You know, it's like if you take someone on a date and you like, oh, she ordered surf and turf, I definitely know I'm getting some tonight. You know what I mean? I think it's things that go through our mind that we cannot voice because it would make us sound very crass. But I do believe we all think these things. You know what I mean? Like if I go out on a date with a girl and let's say she orders a filet mignon and she orders Dom Perignon, and I'm in my mind thinking like, oh, she must be trying to sleep with me tonight. With if she goes out and just has a appetizer, I'm like, okay. Like if I go out with a girl and she just orders an appetizer, she goes, you know what? Yeah, I'll give you that. I'm kind of thinking like, okay, she's trying to establish, we're equals. Don't think you get nothing tonight. You know what I mean? So
So it's based on what she orders, Malik.
yeah, like I've gone out with girls, and if you order an appetizer and pay for it, that kind of lets me know that you're setting a tone of like, don't expect anything, bro.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And it could not be that. I remember this girl, I asked her one time, she's like, nah, she's like, I'm a light eater. She was one of the people that ate like 5 or 6 small meals a day because she just, that was just the way she worked out. So I'm thinking like, gosh, she's really trying to like set a precedent of like, like don't do anything and don't expect anything. And I'm like, I'm just feeding you because we both got to eat. Like, I'm not expecting you to sleep with me over a meal. Like, it's not that deep. But I think people do have these little, it's social cues in your mind that you think.
So
like,
I have a question because we do have a friend that paid because they were dating someone, and he was like, I do have a girl, but I'm trying to see what's going on. She's like, oh, you can't pay for me if you got a check. I mean, I think women are making more money, right? More than ever. So it's always interesting when people be like, oh, I think, Malik, what you're saying is somewhat true.
Well, let me ask you, do you think when Rihanna and ASAP go out, since she's a billionaire?
God, with the Rihanna and the Cardi B.
Come on, Malik. I need you to a little bit more.
Oh.
Let's bring it here. But I got you. Yes. Go ahead, Malik. Finish.
I'm just thinking of a woman who is noticeably much wealthier than her partner. Do you think they have these financial clashes?
I don't know.
No, but I'm saying, do you think, because he's a regular man, they're regular black people, do you think that they have these financial clashes where it's like, I can pay for this because I make, my salary dwarfs your salary? I don't think that they have those kind of discussions. I think when you have love and you have a rhythm, like Natalie said, I think money isn't really an issue.
So I'm just thinking the people that you're talking about, these people are making more than $500,000 to $1 million a year. So we can just exclude them. We're talking about regular basic folk like us.
Okay, but let's say if you meet a guy who he makes less than you, and you like to go to Antigua on a regular basis, would you X him out the equation if he cannot afford as many trips to Antigua as you like to take?
Well, that has happened in the past, and we made it work somehow. But I did learn from that experience that giving too much just to have someone, and then this goes back to the, you got to be careful when you're dating someone that's not making as much as you are. At what point do you cut off the need to kind of help pull that person up to what it is that you want to do? Or do you just not go to Antigua and wait until he's had his, he got himself together?
Well,
So
I don't think you should mute your lifestyle.
Till tax
But
time.
why is it that, like, because if my lady doesn't have it, I'm just gonna be like, yo, I got 2 tickets. Why is it in your mind, maybe as a woman, you would never think to be like, if you have it, to be like, yo, babe, I got 2 tickets, come to Antigua?
Well, that has happened in the past before. That's what I'm saying. But then you got to be careful that you're not pulling someone in a place where they're not ready to be as yet. Because if you keep footing that bill over and over again, then that person don't learn to make their money and to bring themselves up to wherever they need to be financially.
So
But doesn't
Anthony,
that
you're
go
kind
back
of
to the
saying the same thing
ambition?
that Byron
Wait.
said a little bit.
But doesn't that goes back to the ambition, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And so that's what I mean. That
Say that again?
it doesn't really matter what they need to have ambition, right? To try to make it happen, to be wherever, whatever that is in terms
Right.
of being in a relationship with you, right?
Right. And I think somebody also mentioned that, it doesn't matter how much money they make as long as they love you. I've been in I'm speaking from experience. I'm not speaking about anybody else's situation. And my situation was the person did love me, was very nice. But at some point, finances plays a big role in that relationship where you're always the one responsible for making things happen. So there am I looking for that provider protector, and I'm not getting that part of it. And the provider protector doesn't necessarily equate to money only. It also equates to feeling that safe feeling where if something happened to me, would this person be able
Be
to
there for
take
me.
care of me?
Yeah.
That's
Right.
what it all boiled down to.
So
Right.
Yeah.
back to I think it's really interesting because Anthony, you kind of saying the same thing that Byron's saying in just a nicer way.
Yeah, I couldn't hear Byron at all, and I'm sorry, I couldn't hear him.
Byron, did you say something about tax time? You're on mute, Byron.
I was joking
Taxes
about
I do,
waiting.
as we say, but go ahead.
No, I mean, look, I think it does come back to. It comes back to 2 points. I think it does when you're talking about talking about taking to the next level. I think ambition starts to play a role because ambition does unfortunately equate a lot of times, oftentimes, to financial security, not necessarily a set of financial equivalence, but financial security. And that goes back to people, equating finances to energy. If you are comfortable with the energy that you bring in and the energy that you collect, then someone who makes more or less of you isn't going to intimidate you, and you're going to be a person that says, "Look, I can do this, I can't do that," and not feel uncomfortable about it, and the partner won't feel uncomfortable about it either. Like it comes to. I mean, there's a concept of financial compatibility that matches with the financial energy that you bring to a situation. So I mean, it's to me, it's yes, how much money you makes matter. Other aspects and factors that more nuanced aspects and factors to it. They go into it in terms of what brings comfort.
Final question: is it going to affect? Now, let's be real. Is it really going to affect the success of the relationship at this point? The happiness, the success, if the relationship is going to work, happiness, so on and so forth. And that's an individual question. Final question.
Will money contribute to
I'm
the
like,
sex?
I mean, how much yet
That-
does money at this point in your lives really going to affect the relationship as a whole?
I mean, it can hurt it, but I wouldn't necessarily say it helps it. If that makes
It
sense.
won't. You said
I
it.
would just hope
Poor
you at this
poor
point
financial
you're
habits and
making
relationships
better
do more relationship.
decisions, right?
I'm sorry.
Aren't we making better
What's
decisions,
that?
right?
Some people aren't making better decisions.
Right.
That I think that's an assumption. I think we hope we're making better decisions,
But
but I think some people.
I'm saying it can hurt. I'm saying it doesn't necessarily help relationships. I mean, some relationships can go on, but I'm saying there are aspects of finance that can actually absolutely doom relationships. Sure, I think poor financial habits are one of those things that doom relationships.
Yes.
You can have two people who don't make the same amount of money, but if they practice good financial hygiene, then yeah, I mean, it works.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And maybe
Angie.
you can learn something from the other person, right? You get on board, as I said, do
Absolutely.
some counseling, financial counseling, as I know some couples who've learned, and if your partner is a superstar in how to, I don't know, save in a certain kind of way, or if that's what you guys are doing together, I hope you would be mapping that out together, knocking out whatever debt for whatever you guys are, doing towards your goal.
Okay. Good point, Leah. Yep. Angie.
I mean, I just reiterate what I say. It's so many variables to a relationship, not just about money. I think that's an important part, a very important part. But I think you need to have the discussions before you become one. I don't see where there's a problem with having joint bank accounts, but both parties have to agree on what their expectations and what they want from their relationship. I mean, money is a huge part of things because people break up behind money.
Yeah, they do.
Relationships crumble behind money. So I think that just doing this and having this type of conversations and seeing where everybody is at, I just think that this is great because I think we need to continue, especially as African Americans or Black people. I don't think we talk about these things very often, and I think that the conversation needs to continue.
Excellent, Angie. Yeah, I agree. Malik.
I think a rich man could be with a broke woman, but a rich woman cannot be with a broke man.
Mm.
And I think it's a lot of social norms that play into that and way we were reared. So I think when people talk about financial equality and all these other things, I think at the end of the day, necessarily the man doesn't have to be the breadwinner, but he has to be the financial leader of his household. So his wife might be a doctor, he might be a janitor, but he understands budgeting and he understands finance and he understands how to invest money. And, he's taking her car shopping, but he's getting the best interest rate. So I do believe that spiritual wealth and emotional wealth will tie into your financial wealth.
Mm.
Mm.
I like that, Malik.
I like that.
I like that. I like
It's
that.
not-
Anthea.
I'm gonna keep it real because I'm speaking from experience. I'm not gonna sit here and say that, love conquers all or whatever. And that's a great thing, but we got to get real about the financial part of the discussion. And it's not literally like who pays the bill at dinner. It's a lot deeper than that. How much debt they've accrued. Are you going to file your taxes jointly or separately? What debt do you have? What assets do you have? Spending habits. Like there's so much more conversation around finances that has to go into place before you think about even getting to the next level of a relationship. It's important.
Right. I agree. Pay attention to how they're spending their money. Make sure you have the conversation if you do take it further. And we're going to continue this conversation in the after party. And we have we're closing out with Mr. Nino's song tonight. I want to kind of surprise him. So he's going to be our outro to the show. Yes, talking about money. So join us in the after party. We'll have the panel, Miss Leah, Byron, Angie, and Malik in the after party. We're going to continue this discussion. As we always say, we keep it lit and enlightening. Next week, we're going to be talking about being chosen and what does that mean. We'll see y'all next time. Have a great Wednesday. And the weekend start today. So let's get it cracking. See y'all later. Bye.
Yo, it's Nino, paid in full, think I'm Rico, minus the snitching on my people. We don't see evil, Cherry or Canary, Camaro, flip the narrow, and tell them bitches to leave me alone. I'm in a zone, we clicking like cellular phones, with two bad bitches like Superfly. I'm super high, tatted on my neck, but I'm good in a suit and tie. Hottest nigga in the country, your baby mama want me. These old niggas getting comfy. I'm a pimp C like Bumpy, you got to bump me, the flow lovely. Chivalry is ugly, The dudes say poorer, the scorer in the fourth quarter. These chickens lucky that I got a daughter. I'm out of order, mine jinky. I disappear and reappear like I'm Banksy. Don't gotta thank me. The team holy, Arabic face rolly. I ain't gotta lie on a record, these niggas know me. Sitting on the ice by some bars like a goalie. The gram slitter, take her even if her man with her. I don't know why God, they so damn bitter. Life is sweet, but I'm smoking sour. Fresh and clean in the strip club, girl, you need a fucking shower. Money raining like a monsoon, welcome to the dawn's room. Narcotics on the strip, we flip. My bank say I bend notes like a synthesizer. Cheap with the chicken like a Mazda. I might surprise her, blow Godiva. The chocolate is lit, I'm just a hashtag. I seem sober, clean rover. I control her, you don't get an iota. Pepsi over Coca-Cola, I got a real rap quota. Strap soldier, don't get me started. See a whipping credit carded, flow retarded, yellow bus is special need. Never be another me. Auction house Sotheby's, my brother see me iced out, sipping bubbly. The unruly, black mooly.